What's up, viewers and listeners? My name is Jay. I'm a registered nutritionist based here in Bristol, working with BJJ enthusiasts across the globe. On today's episode, we had Shane Curtis on the show, aka Goth Lord, a 28-year-old black belt under Paul and Neil Owen at Nottingham MMA. He is sponsored by Subguard, Scramble, Role Models, Brotherhood Performance, and is our newest sponsored athlete here at BJJ Nutrition. Shane has had some dominant performances at Polaris, Grapplefest, Intergrapple, and many other tournaments. Shane has gone on to developing his own jiu-jitsu technique called the Gothlock, with a very promising grappling career ahead of him. In this episode today, we talked about plant-based diets, supplements, some recent drama at comps, and much, much more. For all of our UK following, we will be at Grapplefest on the 1st of July, so please come and say hello to myself and producer Tom. We will have our grip strength tester with us, so you too can see how your grip strength matches up against the pros. Look forward to seeing you all next Saturday. Thank you for tuning in, and of course, if you're not subscribed, please click that subscribe button and turn on post notifications for further videos and updates. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Let's get into episode 11. Oos. Right, guys, we are on episode 11.5 or 5.5 or part 2 of the podcast. We couldn't decide, but my name is Jay. I'm the host of the BJJ Nutrition podcast. I run the BJJ Nutrition Consultancy, making sure fighters are performing to their best needs with the right food and making sure they're not doing anything silly with our weight cuts. We are back here in Nottingham MMA for the great... You gonna introduce yourself?
The man needs no introduction.
The man needs no introduction. Has many, many names, but Shane, obviously, thank you very much for having us back here. Obviously, again, apologies for our error on the technical side of things, but we definitely had a few things we wanted to cover, which are more nutrition focused than the rest of the podcast. Yeah. And obviously, some things have changed since then, obviously, with this lovely sign up here. We'll obviously have a chat about Intergrapple as well in the meantime. Cool. But how you been, man? How's everything been going? Obviously, it's been a good couple of months, I think, since we last seen it.
Doesn't it? It feels like it was only yesterday, though.
Yeah.
But no, everything's been going really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I know obviously you've been out and competed a few times as well. I know not obviously the results obviously you've always wanted and stuff like that, but I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit later. The main thing obviously with this one we want to cover over is, as you said, many people aren't aware of this, and when I first messaged you, I wasn't aware about this, is that you follow a plant-based diet, right? And so let's dive into that a little bit more. When did you make the switch? Was there any particular reason why you made the switch, or what was the situation there?
It's been just over 3 years now, I'd say.
Yeah.
And initially it was just a case of, I thought I'd just give it a go.
Yeah.
You know, and the idea was so initially I actually went vegetarian.
Okay.
And I thought, I'll give it a go, I'll see how I feel. And then if I feel either the same or better, I'll continue with it.
Yeah.
And I felt no difference in a positive way.
Yeah.
I feel like to feel no different is a positive. Because it's just the same as eating meat, so then why would I? Sort of thing. And then eventually I just got bored of eggs. Having eggs every fucking day. Yeah. I thought, well, I don't even need them. I'm getting really bored of them.
Probably trying every sort of concoction going, frittata, exactly. Omelette, boiled egg, everything going.
And then I just got rid of them.
Okay.
It is more towards loving animals than it was to do to health purposes.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And I just found that I still feel good. I feel great.
Nice.
One of the biggest things I've found is I can eat closer to training.
Yes.
And still perform.
Nice.
Like when I did eat meat and I'd eaten meat before training or an animal-based food, then I'd feel shit and I'd have the worst training sessions possible.
Yeah.
And every time I did that, this is crap, I feel awful. And I know my coach as well, he said that to me before, if he's eaten before training, he would have eaten some meat or something, he has shit sessions.
Interesting.
And now, I know that I can eat pretty much whatever I want before training.
Yeah.
It tends obviously to be some sort of carbohydrates, a
Yeah.
little bit of protein. I feel great. I have more energy through training, I don't feel sluggish and lethargic. I feel really good.
That's interesting. So one of the common things, obviously, we say to a lot of our athletes who are performing is, especially when they're eating for performance, let's say, there are areas which can get confusing, right? And it's like general population information, eat your fruit and veg, right? You need to get more protein in your diet, or don't have high sugary drinks, this type of stuff, right? When it comes to performance, however, trying to eat a kilo worth of broccoli a day is going to make you feel absolutely horrific because you're going to have too much fiber in your stuff. It's not going to digest. You're going to be walking around feeling like bloated all the time. So when you did switch to more plant-based, did you kind of have to regulate that a little bit to try and sort of subside it at all? Or
Not really, because I don't overdo it with the veg.
Yep.
Like, I think most of my diet I do concentrate on is getting like carbohydrates.
Yeah.
And like not like fructose, more like, I guess, rice,
Yep,
pasta,
sure.
even bread.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. It's like looking for those carbohydrates that I can use as an energy source.
Yep.
And to make sure I'm eating enough calories to be able to maintain and gain weight.
Yep.
Which is one of the harder things at the beginning. At the beginning, I wasn't overly sure where I was getting my protein from and my carbs.
Yeah.
The carbs are pretty self-explanatory,
Yeah, you can
but the
find carbs
protein was the harder thing.
Sure.
So I did lose a little bit of weight. Like I dropped maybe from 80 to 75.
Okay.
89, yeah, maybe 78, 79 to maybe 75, 76.
Sure.
Which is then ended up when I fought Bradley Hill, I was quite small. And then I realised kind of what I was doing wrong.
Yeah.
And then I just learnt from there.
Yeah.
And I realised, right, this is what I need, this is how I'm going to get it. And then from there on, it's just been a case of hitting those protein targets.
Yep.
Aiming for that like 160 grams of protein a day, 170. And also eating a lot more carbs.
Yeah.
Because I have found at least I can eat more on a plant-based diet.
Okay, that's interesting.
But I don't know if that's because it's a lot of foods are lower calorie.
Yeah. So that's the one thing I say to a lot of, let's say, if I've got a client in a fat loss phase, for example, I say if you find anything with the word berry in it, go crazy on the stuff, right? Generally because strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, gooseberries, all this type of stuff, right? All super low calorie.
Yeah.
Good in fiber as well. It's going to keep you full. And you can just literally make a massive bowl out of it. So one of the dishes that we normally end up suggesting to people is sort of 250 grams worth of like frozen strawberries, right? Bang it in the microwave, put some oats in there type of thing. And then depending obviously on your preferences for you in particular, but 2 scoops of obviously protein powder on it. This bowl of food is going to be fucking huge type thing. And it's going to keep you nice and full and it's going to give you all the energy you kind of need for the rest of the day, which is cool. So you mentioned obviously your weight going down a little bit and obviously going up. What are you walking around now, if you don't want me to ask?
About 88.
88?
89.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So with the weight gain then, obviously that's happened over sort of 3 years.
3 years. I think realistically, if we take out the bit where I lost a little bit of weight, I've only gained like 8 kilo.
That's not much then over 3 years.
3
No,
years.
not at all actually, not thinking about it.
8, maybe 9 kilo.
Cool.
In 3 years, which is not that much. I think everyone feels like it's more than it is. Everyone thinks I've got a lot bigger.
But I think it depends on where you started from. So we get this again, I keep on referring to fat loss clients obviously again for this, but you get the comment of going, oh, you're looking a bit too skinny.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no, you're used to me being obese or overweight, right? And now I'm putting myself in a better position now, and it's kind of like the mirrored version for you. Like, oh, yeah, you look huge now in comparison to previously. Well, yeah, I've done conscious efforts to try and get past this, and this is now my new walk-around weight from that. Out of interest then, obviously, with this new walk-around weight you've got, does that mean it took you a little while to get used to keeping that level up? Did you find you were dipping a little bit sometimes in weights, then you had to eat more again type of thing?
Like fluctuating?
Yeah, so like...
I think because I just never really worried about what I was eating, I just kept eating. Like and I still do now.
Yeah.
Like I've got to cut a little bit of weight in a few weeks. But aside from that, I've never even worried about cutting weight for comps.
Nice.
Like so, it's never really played in my mind.
Yeah.
I got to 92 on Christmas Day.
Hey.
But
I think we all got to 92 on Christmas Day at some point.
But that's really the only time I've noticed it kind of going up and down.
Yeah.
It's generally been quite steady increase as I've just been lifting and eating and training.
Nice, that's all good. That's really, really good. And so obviously the weight's kind of progressed in the right direction. Do you feel like you're going to keep it there or are you going to keep on pushing on? Or?
Well, I want to do trials at 88.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll be staying about where I am. Might lean up a little bit.
Yeah.
But again, abs aren't really that functional.
I'm glad you said that. One of my biggest bugbears at the moment is bodybuilding getting into jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not a bodybuilding show, right? Abs do not submit anyone, right? Bulging biceps do not submit anyone, right? it's, well, actually, I don't know, technically, it might help a little bit. I might take that one back. Veins don't submit to people, right? All this type of stuff.
Low body fat doesn't submit.
No, it doesn't. If anything, like I said, if you took any of those people on that stage and they're fucking glorious tan, you might ruin your white mats, but don't get me wrong. But at the same time, they are in the most depleted state possible that you probably push them over, they're just going to collapse instantly.
Yeah, they have heart attacks.
Yeah,
like, it's ridiculous.
That's a real thing, right? The amount of professional bodybuilders who are keeping coming out each and every other month, like, this person's died, this person's died, this person's died, right? Which is sad enough, obviously, because they've obviously helped people overcome those different things, but it seems to be quite a concurrent pattern of, again, performance-enhancing drug use and all that type of stuff, but it's not a great lifestyle in the slightest bit. I remember one of them, actually, I think, a guy called Callum Von Moger, he actually eventually became like a Gucci model, all this type of stuff. Okay. Just walking around, and he just went, popped out.
Wow. And
it's because of this mass he was walking around all the time.
It was just so big.
So fucking big, and it just popped. And then there's other cases of that type of thing happening, but yeah, it's a big bugbear of mine. Sorry, I was pretty massive tangent on there. It was just, again, this world of like online coaching, which is already massively saturated, and they think, oh, I've got his client to lose 10 kilograms in the gym. Good old Dave who goes and works in an office every type of week. Like, oh, I know how to do this for jiu-jitsu, I know how to do sports performance. I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that. And unfortunately, within my world, even myself having a human nutrition degree at university, my title's not protected. Yeah. You can call yourself a nutritionist. Right. Yeah,
it's not the same as being a doctor. You can't just call yourself a doctor. Well, you can try and call yourself a professor.
Yeah, you can. That's one way of doing it. Or dietitian is protected, for example.
Well, I am a professor at Nottingham University.
Love it. I love it. But then like I said, I think someone said to me the other day, like, Dr. Dre has no doctorate. I can guarantee you that type of thing. And he's still got that on there. So, but the idea being is that I think there needs to. I appreciate people are looking into research in different places, but I think they need to be aware of what they are looking at. And to be honest, if I'm real, in terms of the information we have for grapplers alone, it's limited, like really limited. I think I was having a discussion with Tom Sparks actually about water loading techniques and what information we know on this. Yeah. And we've only got a handful of studies, and the most recent one was with 30 grapplers who. One group did a water load, the other one didn't do a water load. Yeah. And we got some good information from it, but to say that it's worked for 30 people, it's a little bit like, right, okay, and it's so underexplored yet. And the problem being, especially within the weight cutting world, is that who's going to voluntarily do a weight cut? Like, hey, we're just going to deplete you, do you mind? Yeah, it's cool, we're going to test you and do this type of stuff.
It's not the same as an MMA, there's MMA or boxing. The day before weigh-ins, like, this is like, you're weighing in on the day and competing on the day.
Yeah, majority of the time.
So you can't be depleting yourself.
No, and that's the problem. The thing is, I'm sure you've seen this at multiple competitions, people sort of like running around in sweat bags and all this type of stuff, trying to shift off the last bit. I'm like, why are you going to the far end of the scale to start with when you could have done so much more? Like, I think I did a post obviously last night about how to shift a kilo within the week, and there's like 4 different things you can do before even dropping a single bit of sweat type thing. And it's not even that hard, but sorry, I've gone on a complete tangent here. It's all like you.
I don't think I've ever missed weight at a comp, I haven't.
Nice.
I've barely had to cut weight. I have had to a couple of times, but never missed it. Yeah. But now I'm like, well, I'm just going to go to the weight class above. Yeah. I'll go in between the limit I actually am.
Yeah, and this is the big argument I've said a few times, is that when you look at smooth comp in particular, they actually put the weight of the people on some of them on there, what they weigh in at, and then typically on average you're looking at most people underweight by about 1.5 to 2 kilograms. Yeah. So let's say, I don't know, for hypothetical sake, that you could be under 75 or you could go up to 80, right? And you're like 77, right? Or let's say 76, you're just on the cusp. Now you could either stress about trying to get under 75 in the gi, let's say, so you've got to do a little bit more, or you could eat up to that 80 mark. Yeah. And majority of people fighting at 80 already are on average 1.5 kg under, so you're worried about a kilo. Yeah. Right? I know you don't give a single fuck about who you fight in the slightest bit, but to anyone else out there, if I told you your gym buddy's a kilo heavier than you, would you give a monkeys? No, you just go like, just go and fucking smash each other up and just see what happens. So there's big fear that you're going to get this guy who's like cutting from 90 down to 80 type thing. Yeah. And there are going to be outliers.
If he does that, then he's going to be fucked.
Yeah, and he's going to be underfueled and stuff like that. And like I said, there's outliers to the situation. Yes, with some of the sub-only comps, obviously we've got some day before weigh-ins and things like that, which is a bit different. But by then, I like to think you know exactly where you should be. Yeah. But no, that's cool. So with the, back to the plant-based diet, if you don't mind. Yeah. With that then, Obviously, you went vegetarian, then obviously went fully, obviously, into the vegan type of thing. I think the obvious question is: any particular food groups that you feel like you miss out on, or any cravings for anything?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing at all.
No, nothing. There's not one thing I look at and think, oh, I wish I could have that.
Yeah.
Like, if there is anything, there are always alternatives.
Yeah.
Like, and chocolate's got a lot better. So.
Well, there's a good question for you. As I'm pretty sure good old and mighty JRE, I think, obviously put that out there. What's your thoughts on the highly processed plant-based alternatives? If you see what I mean, there's a lot.
Everything, in my opinion, you should have in moderation.
Sure.
So moderation in moderation.
Yep.
Joe Rogan says that himself, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the thing is that you've got highly processed meat food. So it's no different. People are just like casting like that negative view on it, just because a lot of people are anti-plant-based, which is ridiculous. Like, obviously there are also people that are anti-meat and so on and so forth, but I don't really think it's any different to a processed meat food or animal product food.
I think to some degree it's just kind of giving a fuck about what you're eating.
Yeah.
Right? Because at the end of the day, I've seen it plenty of times. I'm going plant-based, right? And it'll be someone to try and lose weight, let's say. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, it's not just as simple as you going plant-based. Right? You can get fat eating chips, oddly enough. Who knew, right? Or something along those lines.
That's the problem. A lot of people, I think it's important. It's harder to know what to do and to do it right.
Yeah.
But when you know, then it's fine.
Yeah, it's managing. And it's the same thing. Do you know what? I refer to like a jiu-jitsu technique.
Yeah.
Right. If you don't know how to do Gothlock, let's say, right, to begin with, you ain't going to ace it straight away. You might hit it luckily in one position. Tom will find out later. And then the idea being is that, you're going to rehearse it, you're going to drill it, you're going to practice it, you're going to make mistakes, you're going to make like little errors. Like, I don't know, I'm sure there'll be no moments from when you're in the plant-based, obviously, diet, which you're following now, that you've eaten something and gone, oh shit, this is not what I thought it was, or something like that. And you learn from it and go, right, well, I'm not going to make that mistake again. So, no, that's perfectly understandable. And I think you're right in terms of the processed food element to it, that moderation is going to be key. And I think, obviously, for anyone who wants to give a fuck about what they're eating, they're going to try and find kind of original food sources, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And to quote, I know, obviously, Dan Strauss is like, you've got to put some effort into it. Yeah, if you want to get better at your diet and nutrition, you've got to put some time into it, and you can't just wing it as such. So, one question obviously that comes to mind then when it comes to following a plant-based diet is supplementation. Then. So, again, not every person who follows plant-based diets are aware of this type of thing. Is that B12, for example, is the one thing that obviously gets lacking. So, were you aware of that from the start at all?
I was aware of it, but I probably didn't supplement it straight away.
Sure.
Until I realised like how important it was.
Did you notice the lack of energy?
No.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. So
I don't know why that would be. I've never felt a lack of energy. Full stop. Unless I'm actually just tired.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a thing, isn't it?
You should have got up at 5 o'clock with us this morning.
No. As far as supplements go, like B12, Omega 3, 6, and 9.
Yep.
Essential amino acids.
Yep.
I just ate normal A to Z vitamin.
Yeah.
I have some strange mushroom supplements I have that Paul taught me into getting. I have 5 things that I take a day. I'm trying to work out what they all are. So 3, 6, and 9.
Yep.
Vitamin B, A to Z, my weird mushroom thing. Oh, my probiotics.
Yeah. Cool, that's fine.
And then my essential amino acids, which is a supplement powder.
Yeah, that's nice.
And I should take creatine. I have creatine.
Yeah.
I just like remembering to do everything.
Yeah, it's tricky.
It's a pain.
It's trying to obviously. This is the same thing I say to people about in terms of habits and stuff. I really don't care what time you're taking this type of stuff, especially with a lot of these supplements in particular. Essential amino acids is about the amount of availability within the bloodstream itself. And so, again, creatine, you could put it in a certain position.
Yeah, I saw something that said that you have to take it within maybe 30 to 60 minutes of training.
After? That you're referring to?
I think so, after,
cool. So it's potentially what you're referring to, like the anabolic window, right?
I don't remember
That's right.
specifics, but I'm sure I saw something about that.
Like I said, there's 2 points to the argument, or discussion, should we say, is if you're not taking creatine, right, I'd rather you just start taking it.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean. Where you decide to take it, as long as you're doing it every day.
I did think that, is that really an issue? It's like the whole calorie in, calorie out thing, isn't it? Like,
yeah, you need that balance, and obviously you need that amount for it. Obviously, my biggest gripe at the moment is everyone fucking hounding creatine loading like it's like never been talked about before.
I wouldn't do.
No, like at the end of the day, these supplements should be taken as much as you brush your teeth, like daily, right? That you're taking it every single day. There shouldn't be cycling phases. People think they need to take creatine out when they're trying to lose weight. Like, no, it's not. Like, that's not going to make any difference.
No.
I think on average you're looking at 400 grams in terms of weight difference as well, which is nothing, right? If you are struggling to make weight for same day competition, then get it out probably your system just to see if it is going to
that's just like 400 grams,
It could be the make or break of it type of thing, but it's literally a daily supplement. And then once you've got that drilled into you, should we say that, hey, I'm taking this every single day, you've got no struggles with it, so type of thing. But back to your point in terms of timing, if you are referring to the anabolic window, so this is again another bodybuilding story crossing into the jiu-jitsu world, which comes in there. It's about obviously the timing of when MPS or muscle protein synthesis is going on.
Okay.
And they did a test back in the day. They got loads of people who were fasted to do a workout, give them some protein, and they looked at the absorption rate and they said, wow, okay, well, if we do it any longer after 60 minutes, the absorption rate starts to go down and we start to lose our gains all of a sudden, right? And obviously every guy out there is, dear God, I need to hit the anabolic window, need to get this done. They redid the test, same environment, the participants weren't fasted, and the absorption rate was no different.
Oh, so as long as I'm not fasted.
Yeah, and that was the difference. And if you think about that, if we like deprive you of, I don't know, all your food, right?
Yeah.
And then
make you train,
then give you a load of food, you're going to go like, oh my God, your absorption is going to be through the roof. That makes much more sense. But I don't know if that is what you're referring to with that or with creatine. That's a common one that comes up from there. But omega-3, 6, and 9, EPA and DHA are the two ingredients that you need to have a high dosage of. So don't get conned out of, again, I'm sure this is not you, but of really low quality sort of like, I don't know, Audi special type stuff or Tesco special type thing.
Holland and Barrett.
Yeah, Holland and Barrett's 350 milligrams combined with that is obviously the best dosage you can get for it. Vitamin D, obviously, I know we've got great stuff at the moment. So hence, I think the last week we were both in hoodies and t-shirts where we now are in vests. And then multivitamin, as you mentioned, which is fine. Vitamin D, we've gone over creatine, and then beta-alanine. Do you take any?
No, I hate it.
I know you hate it.
Because it makes me fuzzy. I hate the tingling sensation.
You should take it. Take it. It's probably the best thing ever. The reduction of lactic acid, but take it with food is what I'd recommend. It reduces the buffer down significantly to the point where we've had some clients now like take it just before going to bed, but like after their evening meal, and they've literally had like no tingliness sensations at all. So it might be suggesting there, but again, you do you, boo. I'm not going to tell you what to do. What else did you say there? B12 then, and obviously that is probably the key thing that a lot of people don't realise when going to plant-based diets is that where, unfortunately, we're not getting B12 from most of our meats, poultries and fish, for example, that's where it's going to be an abundance of that altogether.
I have like 40,000% or something like that.
Just to keep it in there. And obviously there's little forms that you can do that in. Obviously you've got B12 injections, you've obviously got obviously tablets which you can take. I'm unaware of obviously in terms of what one is more superior, if there is a difference between the pair of them, because sometimes obviously with tablet form we don't get the amount coming through because of stomach acid, things like that and stuff like that. But
at least it's like 40,000%. Surely at least 100% of that
go through. Exactly. That's like, what would be the logic there? If I chuck in at least 400 takedowns, at least one of them will count and it'll stay down. But no, in terms of that, then obviously it's nice to see obviously you switch to plant-based, obviously somewhat in the Nate Diaz crew from there, which is pretty cool. And obviously following it from there. I have to ask out of interest, other than I think you mentioned before, there's some other friends and family members that were doing it and stuff like that. Did the Game Changers have an influence that from the Netflix documentary?
I didn't watch that until I'd been plant-based. Yeah, quite enjoyed it after when I was plant-based. Oh, this is great. Funnily enough, the guy that made it is actually from the same town I grew up in.
Is it?
Yeah, Melton Mowbray. I didn't know that. I always forget his name.
That's fine. No, it's interesting. Again, I don't know, there's been a few conversations on recently with that, and I think with the documentary, I think what people have to realise sometimes is that it needs to be entertaining.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the information did get, I'm not going to say cherry picks bad, but it reminds me of my university days. Like, I don't say this, that I'd write something on a study and be like, right, PubMed, right, how can I find something to make this agree with this statement type thing? And so a lot of things that were mentioned on it, like, oh, this guy's the strongest man in Germany and this type of stuff. And then all the strong men were actually like Eddie Hall, like, who the fuck is this guy? We've never seen him before, type thing.
But in the documentary, you still see him lifting a lot of fucking weight.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, it's not wrong.
No, exactly.
I think what he did was he may have entered like a 2-man category and won it. Like, I think that's realistically, that's kind of what he did.
Yeah.
But like, you get these world's strongest men that like, oh yeah, I won this, that, and the other. Yeah, like what, 2-man category? Or you're the only one in it. It's like fucking default medals.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this is the thing that it's good to have that awareness about it. And I think I can categorically say as a nutritionist that the whole nation does not eat enough fruit and veg, right? I'm a little bit anti-AG1, which seems to be like the trend at the moment of taking the supplement.
I keep seeing that, yeah. And I always like, oh, is that good? Like, is it more of a, don't worry about your fruit and veg, here you go?
The concern I have with it is kind of along those lines, right? Because they have something within it which is called a proprietary blend, right? Which means legally they do not have to state the amount of each and every ingredient they have within that blend, right? So, for example,
like a ridiculously low amount.
Exactly, right? And so when we look at typical food supplementation, and again, at the joys of university of going through countless papers of reading this type of stuff, was, for example, for it to have Mars protein bar on it, they have to have a minimum threshold of protein, right? So the average bystander walking past and go, oh my God, that must have loads of protein in there, right?
It's got like 8 grams or...
It'll be over a certain threshold, and you compare it to the normal Mars bar, it'll be like 2 grams over difference.
Yeah, my coach Paul was saying he bought some protein chalk ices. It was just like 4 grams of protein, so he just ate the whole box.
Yeah, perfect, love that. Don't get enough protein in the chalk ice, we'll just have all the box and it'll be fine.
So I will say one thing on this, is we compared this last time to the Pringles. Remember we were saying there's a tax thing?
Oh, gosh,
there's a massive tax thing as well on the protein side. So because it's protein, it gets classed as a sports supplement. They get a tax break for it. And the reason we're interested in compared it to Pringles is technically not a crisp. So they avoid like a savoury food tax on it.
Yeah.
It's classed as like a potato snack. So they
because it's got a certain amount of protein.
It's got some amount of potato in it. So because it's like 38% potato.
I'm not quite sure the way around it. So I don't know. It was like basically the argument was so minimal potato in it they didn't need to have this potato tax put on it.
Yeah.
What?
And it's the irony behind it.
Same with Jaffa cakes as well. That's why Jaffa cakes have this argument whether a biscuit or a cake. A little bit, if you know, you know.
There we go. But yeah, in terms, like I said, obviously to the bystander, obviously for that problem with AG1 is again that yes, it advertises it's got this giant list of like ingredients within there, but as a lot of it is classed within a proprietary blend, like where you're taking 35,000% of your B12, for example, they could say, oh, it's got vitamin K in there. Is it? It's like 1% of what's needed, and so they have a great marketing campaign. They've obviously reached out to the right people. I need to do a bit more reading into it. So again, I don't want to presume stuff that obviously, it's proprietary blends is obviously what they're doing because again, they've obviously got a good bit of backing from it. But I think it still is the argument where you hear some athletes go, just take this, it's fine, I'll just eat steak all day. And I'm like, your shits must be fucking horrendous.
That's why these fucking carnivore diets make me laugh.
Yeah.
Right, dude, like, you do you, but like...
Yeah, there's a fine line to it. And I'm like, does it really take that much just to get a bit of fruit and veg in the diet? Not at all, right? And it's just, again, this is taking your health to another level, right? And there's a reason why a balanced diet for athletes is quite obvious that they're going to perform really fucking well, right? And then as long as the majority is made up of it, and then from there you've got extra foods in there to say, I don't know, keep the calories high, and that's when I know, for example, you can get the Greg Donuts in there or something like that type of thing. And that's obviously how we get that balance a little bit better there. But no, it's, there's my 2 cents on AG1 for you, another little rant, but it is what it is.
Well, at least that stopped me buying it, because I've been looking into it. I was like, this is so expensive, so I didn't do it in the end.
That's the thing. And I'm like, I'm sure if you did the comparison in terms of what it's got there, and if again we were able to find out what those proprietary blend numbers were, again, obviously, just with your plant-based diet alone, you probably already get that, mate. And so, again, it's kind of say that, again, general message is we all need to eat more fruit and veg, right? Just getting those fibre levels up are going to help with your gut bacteria as it is. You're going to have regular, better stools. You're going to be going to the toilet a lot easier. And you're going to be feeling just a lot more just with it type of thing, which is going to be good. But probably enough about nutrition, but we definitely covered off the bit which got cut off within that section. Let's talk about this bad boy up here. How did it go, mate? Obviously, it's just gone the last weekend.
It was brilliant, right? I think they get better and better each time.
Yeah.
This time, so each event we kind of do a different thing, like for the lower belts, that is. And this time around, I thought I'd like give, I say, up and coming grapplers, just white and blue belts, like anyone who wanted to give it a go. I thought I'd give them the opportunity to do almost like a sub-only format.
Nice.
Have a poster made.
Nice.
Like, I get a little medal if they won, get photos taken professionally. I thought it would just be a nice experience for people.
Yeah.
So we did that for white belts and we did that for blue belts.
Nice.
And then we had like our main card as well.
Yeah.
With the purple, brown and black belts and our 2 title fights.
Nice.
But yeah, it went brilliant. It was, luckily, we've never had rain on an Intergrapple day. 5 Intergrapples, it's always been nice weather.
Really?
Yeah. I've thought that every single time. It's quite lucky considering, because obviously it's in the gym, so people are going to be coming and going throughout the day. And I've always been like, oh, it's going to get fucking rained on. And
I was trying to put 2 and 2 together what you were saying. I was like, is there like a roof here? I'm not aware of, or something like this. Like, does it unfold? Or?
No, just because there's like coffee shops around the corner, people come and go. Like, yeah, but I've been quite lucky there.
No, that's good, man.
But no, yeah, it was a fantastic event.
Well,
like, really good.
Because everyone we've seen, talked to and stuff like that have all given like really positive feedback for it, which is really cool to see. And I think it's very generous of you to try and give that sub-only comp experience to lower belts, obviously for that from there, especially for white belts. Actually, I wasn't aware there was some white belts on there doing it. So typically you normally see like blue belts of a certain standard happy put their sort of left neck on the line type thing.
This is literally anyone. Like you could, like I tried to match people as close to weight and as close to level as possible.
Yeah.
But I wasn't worried too much about the weight.
Okay.
Like, you give me your weight, I'll find someone close to it.
Nice.
Simple as that. Like, and then we'll just make the highest weight of the 2.
Yeah.
Just because I won't want people worrying about weight as it is. Like, yes, when it comes to the main card, a bit different because some of them are pros.
Yep.
I don't know why I'm going like that. Some of them are pros and some of them are pros. Not on my show though.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
And so I thought it'd just be a good experience, like having everyone around. Like, the environment is fantastic. Like, and I'm going off on a tangent here, but I always think to myself when I invite people on, or they ask to come on, especially the black belts, I think, oh, when they get here, they're gonna turn around and go, oh, it's in the gym. But once the setup's here, like, I think it looks brilliant. We've got the banner, we have the photographers. I have Max Brereton from the Grapple Club videoing. I have Steve Mabrighty rolling shutter taking photos.
Nice.
Max comes with Chanel as well, and she takes photos too. Like, it just looks so professional. I think
it's the little details that we've seen. Obviously, some shows. Obviously, we have aspirations of putting our own show, which we'll release more information soon on. And I think it is about, again, just generally giving a fuck, right? If that makes sense. And like making sure that if I was to walk through this environment, how would I feel about this? Would I walk away going, nah, never again, right? Or is it the case of, do you know what, I actually really like this? I get
so many people telling me how much they love the environment here.
Yeah.
Because it's quite intimate to an extent. Like, everyone's close, you can be right next to the matches. Yeah. And like, a lot of these people are high level. Like, some of the guys and the girls that I got for these matches are ridiculous.
Yeah.
But then also to have the white and the blue belts have the opportunity to also compete.
To mingle with it as well. Yeah.
And like, it's cheap as well. Like, I don't really make any money.
No.
But I think for me, I just wanted to give other people that opportunity.
Yeah, definitely.
And I quite enjoy matchmaking. I think I'm quite good at it.
Were there any mismatches on the day?
No.
No?
Like, I really don't think there were. Obviously, some people are going to get sub faster than others. Yeah. With white and blue belts, you can't really...
I've got that Homer Simpson meme of like the 2 monkeys on a boat with a spoon. We'll probably Photoshop that in with your face on there. Just like, go.
Like, you can't really know whether you're mismatching them or not.
Yeah.
So it's just match the weights.
Sure.
Like, I have a little look to see, are you brand new? Like, tell me if you have just started training.
Yeah.
I'll get you against someone who else has just started training.
That's really cool. Again, he didn't keep anyone outrun by the sound of things.
Yeah, so I wasn't going to just let people come in and get smashed. And initially, Intergrapple was, for me, I wanted to just get our guys competing more. I wanted to get our higher belts out there. Like, I say higher, like purple belts, brown belts and stuff.
Yep.
because we've got some phenomenal people here at this gym, and like I wanted to get them more known.
Yeah.
But then as it's progressed, it's just a show now.
Nice.
Like we have a few people from the gym on it.
Yeah.
It's not like
just Nottingham MMA.
versus the world. But now, like, yeah, I feel like it's become a good show. I've had so many people saying they love the environment here. Like it's just packed. I've got some photos just showing how busy it was, like around the mat edge.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was fantastic. The only gripe I had was it was so hot, and the mats were super fucking slippy.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Wet and wild. Why we were mopping them mid-mat, in between matches.
Yes. Every time, I don't know what it was, I'd come back to it after being distracted by something else shot. I'd just see it. Riley just fucking mopping in front of the camera. I was just like, this is class. I love it. But yeah, it looked, like I said, from everything that I saw from it, looked like a wicked show from there. I know obviously we've spoken off camera that we haven't got the next day organised and any of that.
No,
obviously, leave Shane alone. He doesn't. But again, it'll be good to see the next one type of thing. Do you think you'll always keep it in here, or do you think you'll expand it?
I'd like to expand it.
Yeah.
And we'll just see what's available. Try and find the next step up from here.
Yeah.
Like something else. I don't want to put loads of money into a venue for it to then go down the shitter. So I think just finding a slightly bigger venue, maybe with some seating.
Yeah.
Some like separate warm-up areas.
Yeah.
Maybe. But for me, next, I think it's pay-per-view is the thing I want to do next.
Okay.
More than the venue, because there are like 4,000 people watch this one.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty good. That's like 2,000 on each video.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's mad. That's mad.
Yeah.
I think I've got. I have a few friends who know Fight Frog TV owners.
Oh, okay.
So I can definitely obviously drop that to you and see what we can do.
Cool,
That's a normal little stepping stone rather than some of the others.
I'm not even bothered about expensive pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Like under £5. Like I don't think you can argue with that.
No, not at all. Like again, if you can be reasonable with this type of stuff, like I said, with what we got planned for stuff, we're trying to make it as cheap and cheerful for people. I'm looking at £22 entry, which I'm like, you look at any other local competition, you're paying 50 quid minimum, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and like for me, I was charging the white and blue belts a tenner.
Oh, wicked.
To get a poster made. Like, and I think my poster's pretty much shit on most of the posters. Because I like doing it.
Yeah.
I get excited when they get better. Like, if you look past, right back from the beginning of the Intergrapple page, you'll see the progression.
Yeah.
Like, they were okay. They were a bit better, and now they're like, yeah, I'm already playing around with the ones for the next one.
Yeah.
Just because I want them to look even better.
The part, no, it's the same thing. You just learn as you go along. Like again, I look back at some of my original videos I did over like 5-6 years ago. Dear God, they're awful. Like,
it's like jiu-jitsu. You look back and go, fucking hell, I thought that was cool. Or hairstyles.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Or even fashion sense, should we say?
Yeah.
Like, I think we've all been there at some point and bought the Christmas no-gi rash guard, thinking, oh, this is super cool, and then it dawns on you.
Not.
Have you not?
I have not had a Christmas no-gi rash guard.
Then I think I see people then wear it outside of Christmas and go, why are you wearing a Christmas no-gi rash guard?
Fuck, you got gingerbread man.
Yeah, exactly. But no, that's all cool. Let's just obviously talk about a few little things, if you don't mind. For a plant-based guy, it seems like you've got a bit of beef with a few other people in the area at the moment. What's sort of going on there? It's obviously the Nogi British Open. Unfortunately, obviously,
It was a joke.
yeah,
Like, literally, it was just a joke.
yeah.
And he didn't take it very well. So, and we had a couple of messages back and forth, and I was literally just said, bro, it's a joke. And then he starts accusing me. It's like, what? Okay, it's fine.
I couldn't get my head around it, mate, because obviously meeting you in person and chatting to you and that type of stuff, I was like, you're the nicest guy ever type thing. I'm like, where on earth has this even come from?
I didn't actually say anything.
You didn't say anything?
I didn't accuse anyone of anything.
Wow.
I just went like this. That's it. That's it.
That's how it all starts from the podium picture.
Just because I had this bottle next to me.
Oh, wow.
And I pointed.
Oh, wow.
I could have been pointing because he won.
Yeah.
I could have been pointing because, would have been anything.
So it's all started because of
Because of unathletic Matt Benyon.
What have you started here, Matt? What have you started here?
That's it. Literally, that's it. And some people, so to speak, may have thought they read between the lines. But, hey, It is what it is. I don't care.
Days. I thought, like I said, anyone who's even got this bottle, because this is even my bottle, this isn't even yours type
It's just
thing.
ironic.
Yeah, it's ironic. I love it. Like I'm surprised this bottle's not taken off more, oddly enough, in the bodybuilding world.
Yeah.
Right? Like things like that, when I seen it, I was just like, that's absolutely ideal for it. But at the end of the day, like I said, it just seems such... anyway, it is what it is. There's nothing to say. And then, yeah, obviously the next match, unfortunately, I know didn't go to plan for you. Again, it seemed like the guy didn't like you for some reason afterwards. But
Funnily enough, me and Ben got on really well.
Yeah.
I think that's just him.
Okay. just properly in the moment.
He's just really, really happy that he beat me. he just possibly couldn't picture it. We're going to train together as well anyway. There's no bad blood between me and Ben. I made a silly mistake in the match, got caught. It is what it is.
It happens. No, like I said, from us meeting you to then seeing this type of stuff, I was like, what the fuck has Shane done? Like, what's going on here? Like, he's not someone to cause drama by the sound of things. Like, I know you're not afraid of any sort of like I said, like any role, any fight, that type of thing. So obviously you've got some news. Obviously you said you've got some obviously future matches coming up and stuff, which is really cool. But speaking of which, what have you got come next up on the diary?
So next up, I am doing a combat jiu-jitsu match.
Wicked.
On Wild Promotions.
Cool.
It's a local MMA event.
Nice.
And they're doing a couple of hybrid fights.
Cool.
So I'm fighting Mohammed Shazli from Renegade.
Ooh.
So that's quite a big team.
That is a very big team.
Yeah.
Actually got one of our guys right now there actually.
And I'll be taking him on in like his combat jiu-jitsu match, so
Cool.
in a cage.
That'll be
quite
interesting.
fun. Looking
You're going to do like
forward
a
to that.
Superman off the cage slap, like a
Maybe.
bitch slap.
Maybe. He'll have to his back for that though, because I can't. It's not just fucking bitch slaps from standing.
Can you not do that? I don't know the rule set. Oh, so you've got to be in the guard, have you?
No, you've just got to. One of them's got to be one of you's got to be on ground.
Ah.
That's all.
I was waiting for like a George St. Pierre moment, like off the cage, like whoosh.
It's just Stockton slap rules.
Why not? That'd be even better.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to that. I was meant to do one last year.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm not even prepared for it. And I've trained a lot of MMA in the past as well.
Yeah, I was about to say.
And I fully know what to expect.
It'll be funny. So that's all cool. Any other matches after that at all, or is it all just preparation?
Nothing set in stone. Hopefully go into the US in August.
Okay, cool.
So as soon as that's announced, everyone will see it.
Cool.
And then ADCC trials in September.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's gonna be good as well.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, definitely.
That'll be good. Is
100%.
that the one in Poland? I'm guessing.
Yeah.
That's fine. So then obviously you got the other one in the UK, which isn't really the.
That's in August, I think, but it's just the UK Open.
Yeah. So
Which, if I'm not busy, I might do it. But
have you seen? Is a mini? Have they opened the bracket for the trials yet at all?
I don't think so. I was looking the other day to see if I could sign up, and I don't think they have.
No.
Unless I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, then please tell me someone so I can sign up.
Shane wants to snick a stamp on there straight away. He's like, right, okay. I'm hoping with, like I said, for me, I've got no aspirations of doing. This probably helps with the mindset talk here, but aspirations are doing really well with it. But I think I'll be popping over to Poland myself just to give it a bash and just see what happens.
There's a few guys from my gym I was going to give it a go.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, the guy that I fought at the weekend, Sven, he's doing it as well.
Is he?
Yeah. I got the decision win over Sven.
Nice.
On Intergrapple.
Hey.
It wasn't a biased decision.
I imagine this image, like, you like, I don't know, you just stood in the middle of the ref and you just come out to the camera and go, I win, it's my role. my show, my rules.
My rules. He agreed with the decision, so that's fine. I will say, though, he did out-wrestle me a little bit. Yeah, but it was slippy.
I think that's one of the things, though, is that when it comes to it, at the end of the day, is that the reason I look at that trial show, should we say, oh, hello, we've got a friend.
It's Paul.
Hey, Paul.
That's
Freddie.
That's
not Paul.
Hello, mate. You're
right.
What are you doing?
That's Paul.
No, it's all right. Freddie can be in the podcast.
That's all right. We'll be second.
Why is he so wet?
He was melting in the car.
Oh, okay.
What we were going to say next was, obviously doing the ADCC stuff for me, again, the way I look at it is just going to highlight holes in my game so much more quicker than me trying to figure out something for 6 months type thing and then kind of thing like that.
That's like competing as well.
Yeah.
It really helps you learn to see what does and doesn't work under pressure.
Natural environment, which is cool. What we'll probably then do is we've done the grip test off air, so we've added you to the leaderboard, so we'll chuck that up.
If I am right in saying so, I am third.
Third, I know.
Behind Dan Strauss, who broke it, and Rich Rubinho, who is fucking stacked.
Yes. He will put his gains and his strengths down to the ultimate gi player, basically. So
that would make sense.
Yeah,
with his grips.
He's a big gi believer.
And he wasn't a considerable amount above me, so
yeah,
that's fine.
which is cool. And then we've got some questions for you, which we've got Tom with his microphone set up there.
I do have a microphone now. Yeah, it's fun. Cool questions. I mean, you've already covered some of them. So one of them was, you're going to do the ADCC trials. So
Yes.
it's all good. Good to know. When is the next instructional reversed Z guard?
I don't know. There's some other things that I've been playing with from reverse Z guard. Is that from Tom Sparks?
It is. Yes.
Yeah. And I was hitting some different things this time from my reverse Z guard. So I'm just gonna have to keep kind of honing that down a little bit, and then I haven't no dates yet, but there will be another one.
It's coming. Nice. Eyes on. So other questions we have is Goth Lord range number 3. When is it coming? When's the new apparel coming?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know what to do next.
I mean, we had a good chat at the beginning. We think, you could do
Greg's
some
Lord.
Greg's Lord, do a little Greg's logo with Goth Lord smack bang
As
in the
much
middle.
as I like the idea of a meme rash guard, I don't think it fits.
You know what? I might send you one for Christmas.
Yeah,
I'll just send you one.
We'll get one made for you.
We'll get one made for you and send it.
Are you going to compete in Polaris next? Or when are you going to compete in Polaris? Correct question.
I think we said this year.
Yeah.
Nice.
As far as I know. As far as I know, this year.
That'd be cool.
I love a bit of Polaris, I got to say. Big fan of Polaris. Next question we have is, what is the key to beating the unholy Gothlock? Unholy Gothlock.
Ooh.
The
Not
key
telling
to
anyone.
beating it. A magician never reveals
Book
his
a
tricks.
PT with me and I'll tell you.
I know that question didn't come from Mark, but I was about to say, Mark, you could probably listen pretty quickly with it. But
if you want to know, you have to come book a private with Shane.
Yeah.
And then he will show you. Greg's Donuts or Yum Yums, which is better?
Greg's Donuts. Yum Yums aren't vegan.
there we go. That makes it easy.
If they were?
Greg's Donuts.
Ooh, okay.
They're always sold out as well, so clearly Greg's Donuts are better than Yum Yums. There's still boxes of Yum Yums sitting there.
I don't rate Yum Yums. I think they're fucking awful, personally.
Yum Yums
You
are
hated me last time I
great.
said
Yeah,
this.
Yum Yums are awesome. I had one with last
we do a podcast, right? And we talk about what's that like post-comp like meal type thing, and we somehow end up going to those places, right? So we went and got. I think after last time we saw you went to.
We went to Five Guys.
Five Guys, and we walked past the Greg's. I'm like, he's been talking about donuts.
Yeah, he's talking about donuts.
So what I need to make sure though is with the Greg's Donuts, they can be hit and miss depending on the temperature of the day.
Okay.
So if you end up getting the ones that look a little bit wet,
Yeah.
that's shit.
Oh, okay.
You have to get the ones from behind the counter, not the ones in the box.
Oh.
If it's a hot day.
Pro tip.
And if you can't, then just take them home, put them in the fridge, let them set, and then they are perfect.
Wow. Okay.
I've
You've
been
gone into detail.
I've been them before. I've
It's a
fucking
fucking
thrown them away
science.
for being soggy before and disgusting.
I like it.
Deep in the rabbit hole, Greg's Donuts. Yeah, I love it.
Man, it's got to be done. When you like food, it's got to be right, right?
I get it.
Like it. This is quite an interesting one. So, if you could have any match in any rule set with any person, and what rules would you pick? I'm going to assume because they haven't specified living or dead. That's fine.
Well, I don't know.
Take your time, mate. It's
I might
good.
beat Dylan Dennis up.
Please do it.
I'll have a combat jiu-jitsu match with Dylan
Oh,
Dennis.
did you see? Like, it was the irony after the last podcast. We talked about Dylan Dennis, and then all of a sudden, all the shit was going
Yeah.
about us straight away. And I seen you comment straight on there, like, "Yeah, get me
I
involved.
think,
I'll
I
have
think
it."
Quite a lot of people put me forward for that. I
Yeah.
don't think it'll happen, but
Oh, I really hope it does.
that'd be funny.
That'd be
That would
amazing.
be class.
Yeah.
Fuck
So would it be
Dylan Dennis.
jiu-jitsu? Would you do combat jiu-jitsu with him? Or?
Well, that'd be in Polaris, then it would be normal jiu-jitsu, wouldn't it?
You never know. You never know.
With slams.
And then the next question I have is your dream matchup,
My dream matchup.
which isn't you. Yeah, so
Oh, so like who
watch.
I'd like to
Yeah,
watch.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Dylan Dennis and a meat grinder. Would be good. Just saying. Not a big fan of him, can you tell?
That's a tough one. 'Cause, yeah. Okay, there's one match that I thought about recently.
Yeah.
Like both guys are relatively well known, one more than the other. Owen Livesey versus Samuel Karas. I think that's how you say his name.
Okay.
He also got second at the trials.
Ooh.
He's like from Slovakia, and he's wrestled a lot. I think he got second at the trials as a white belt.
Really?
And the day after he got his blue belt. But obviously he doesn't do gi.
Yeah.
That'd actually be an interesting match, I
Yeah.
think. Because his wrestling's really good, and he's fucking unit.
Love that.
Yeah, not a lot of people know Samuel.
Well, the thing is, it comes to a point with a lot of these matches sometimes where people are like, who do you think is going to win this time? Sometimes I like to say, do you know what? I just want to be a spectator.
Yeah.
And like, not care. I just want to see a good scrap.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's it. It's the same thing with like the good old John Jones versus Ngannou, right?
Yeah.
I think John Jones will win. Do I
Yeah.
care if he wins or not? But I just want to see what the fuck's going to happen.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
exactly.
And that's it. It's one of them. Is that all questions we got for?
That is all the questions that I've selected. You covered most of them when you were talking anyway. Some of it was about nutrition. Supplementation was big when that come up. I think a lot of people struggle being plant-based and trying to figure out what the best supplements is. So you covered that off nicely. So
That's so cool. We'll
think
finish
you're all
with
good.
a couple ones that we got. So one which we've actually was a previous guest question,
Yeah.
which we've now stuck in all the podcasts because
Yeah.
we think it's actually a really cool one. So, which failure in your life do you cherish the most?
Losing to Jeremy Parr on Grapplefest.
Yeah.
Because following that loss, I started working with a mental performance coach.
Yeah, you said before.
And like, it's made such a big difference.
Nice. You knew that straight away as well. That's wicked. Have you been listening to our podcast? The other one, I cannot remember for the life of me what the order was from Crocker. You're going to have to do another question for the next guest who's actually on this afternoon.
oh yeah, you're gonna have to do another
okay.
guess
So
question.
you have to be quick on that one, so I can't.
So the guess question was: would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
100 duck-sized horses. Ducks are tiny. And if you kick one, then
There's 100 of them.
100
of them. It's like, yeah,
you
you
hark
can
back
take
to,
them all
like,
out quite easily.
If you
Yeah.
hark back to like Legend of Zelda rules,
If
you
they're-
hit one chicken, you're in a lot of trouble.
A horse-sized duck.
Yeah.
That's fucking scary.
I'm around horses all the time, so I don't know what to say.
But how big's a horse?
It depends on what type of horse we're talking
Well,
about.
we'll
I
go
don't
for a
know,
big
fucking
horse.
the biggest horse you can think of, obviously.
Yeah.
But the rules.
Fine, all right, Mr. Horse Person.
Well, they're bigger
Shetland.
than you.
Big,
Yeah, I know, but you could
what's
have
the
like a little Shetland, for example.
Yeah,
right,
but
what's
that's
the
a
big
pony.
the big working
That's
ones?
not it's a Shetland. That's a horse still.
Shetland pony.
Yeah, well, you can have Shetland. You can have like smaller
That's
horses.
still pretty big.
I know.
Shire horse, big like working.
Oh, they're
horses,
huge.
The massive
Like,
Yeah, a
ones.
duck like that.
They're like a
Oh
solid
yeah,
like
no, I'm
7,
going
8
with 100
foot.
little ducks type thing.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, there we go. Little horses.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take that one. There you
All
go.
right, put it this way: the biggest horse you could possibly find.
Sorry, you didn't stipulate in the question.
okay.
Like, I've seen, like I said, miniature horses, like nowhere like this
But
big.
still, that's still a big duck.
I'd deal with that any day. One of them rather than 100, I don't know, miniature ones.
Yeah,
like,
but that's probably as big as a duck.
yeah, but 100 of them.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't be able to take more than one kick.
Yeah.
And you could probably take out a couple with a kick, maybe 3.
Might have to change that question to like 1,000.
Fine. Here we go.
Because horses aren't known for climbing either. They're not going to climb up you, are they?
There you go.
If you
Right.
knocked a horse over on its side,
I'll
it's
put
gonna
this
hurt.
in perspective for you.
Yeah.
The biggest horse in the world, Guinness World Records,
Right, Jeremy Clarkson.
was a horse named Samson in Bedfordshire in 1846. He was a Shire horse that reached a peak height of 21.5 foot.
Is that like top of his head? Or is that the length of the horse? I don't know how you measure horses.
You actually
That's just a
measure them in
goddamn big
hands,
horse.
don't you?
Yeah.
He was later renamed Mammoth the Horse due to his
wonder
massive
why.
size. Yeah. So there you go. If you had to fight Samson, king of the
Giant
horses, yeah, the giant horse-sized duck.
What's the world's biggest duck then?
For God's sake. I will find out. Biggest duck?
Yeah, world's biggest duck.
All right.
Imagine it comes as an ostrich then, yeah, 100 ostriches.
Okay,
you
yeah,
you
yeah,
change your
yeah,
mind
yeah,
then all of
yeah,
a sudden,
yeah.
wouldn't you? Oh, they'd be vicious, mine as well. Imagine that, just like, yeah.
I need a question for the next guest.
That's right,
Man, this
Is that off
question.
air or on air?
This question is.
yeah, but don't worry, don't do it now. It'd be,
There you go.
We'll do it off air.
The largest duck in the world is a Muscovy. They weigh in at 15 pounds and they're about 31 inches long.
15 pounds, aren't
7
they?
kilos.
That's not a very
So
big.
you got
well, I
700
don't know.
kilo chasing you, basically.
Yeah. And they'd be quite quick after the horses, wouldn't they? Do I get any weapons?
Nope, just your hands.
Just your limbs,
Just-
like you,
ju-
like the,
just-
the weapons that
yeah.
you normally use.
Just the guns you carry, baby. That's it.
That's the one. You still go with 100?
I'm going to go with yeah. Well, Samson, the fucking
21 foot. Fucking hell.
If we're going for the
Samson Mega
highest of
Yeah,
each,
but you have a long neck, mate. You'll be fine. Yeah. You can guillotine him. You'll be good.
Guillotine Samson the Mammoth. Can you imagine how thick that neck is going to be?
You've seen his grip strength.
He's a duck though now, isn't he? So.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Comment below what you think.
Yeah,
what
comment below.
One. That would be the best one.
That's gone on a massive tangent. Thanks for that, Crocker.
Oh, well, that's all good. But yeah, mate, again, thanks obviously for having us
problem.
again. Really do appreciate it. Obviously, shout out to sponsors and stuff quickly, or...
Yeah, just shout out to all my sponsors, Scramble, Subguards, Brotherhood, Role Models, Sam Antonin, Becca, Louise Tattoo, as always.
Yeah.
And Intergrapple. I don't think I've forgotten anyone. I haven't.
That's all good. Well, we look forward to seeing you at Grapplefest as well. So that'll be cool. We'll be up there. And then, yeah, obviously, thanks for having us back. And I can't wait to enjoy this session afterwards as well, dude. So,
no problem.
All good. Ha! I got the scissors on him. That was my plan all along.
I wonder what they were doing there.
Yo, if you got this far into the podcast, well, you're in for a treat. Like Marvel, we've got some behind the scene bits for you, which we're going to start doing on some of the other podcasts. But thanks for supporting everything. Hopefully see some of all you at Grapplefest. But yeah, here's some extra bits which we cut out of the edit. Enjoy. All tested? All sound okay? Hi.
Does the mullet look good?
You might edit in like L'Oreal because your boyfriend just like. Right, are we going to label this episode 11 or are we going to be just
10.5, whatever. What was I? What number was I?
You were number 8?
No, I think you was better than that, mate.
6.
B team. The B episode. Yeah, we do 5 part 2.
5 part 2.
5 part 2.
What wonky finger.
Have you sent me the question?
I've got a little staff scar there.
Well, these two, literally, fresh white belt. I'm like rolling with him. I was like, why does my hand hurt? I'm like, is he bitten me, the bastard? I'm like, or is it like, it's like a fucking snake or something like this? I'm like, Jesus Christ, what's going on there? But anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, you're funny. Right, when you get into this, Paul, we will get distracted and we'll just not even do it.
And then it's lunchtime.
Could you just have casual chat instead, record it?
Yeah, why not?
Like
right,
Joe Rogan.
no worries.